He got him. He struck out the side. Deep to left field. You've got to be kidding me.
Houston Astros fans will make their way in to Minute Maid Park as this homestand rolls along. The Astros looking to even up the series with the Seattle Mariners with their ace on the mound on this Tuesday night. The Astros coming in with an 8.5 game lead in the AL West, holding ground in the division despite the loss in the series opener. And I can tell you that the confidence is very high in this ball club when it is JV day, especially here in Houston. Justin Verlander making his 11th start this season, his 4th against the Seattle Mariners. We've seen him have some success against this Mariners club. In fact, earlier, the very first start he had against this team, 8 scoreless innings. What he does well is keep this team in the ballpark. He does not let them hit a lot of home runs. In fact, that's our best in Texas power pitcher, driven by Ford. As we take a look at some of the numbers, it's those home run numbers for him. When he keeps them in the ballpark, when he doesn't allow more than a home run or so, he is undefeated. You see the record there, 7-0 with the 1.7 ERA in 8 starts. Pretty incredible what he's able to do. He's actually dominated this team at times, especially in that Astros uniform. It actually all started with the Astros against the Mariners with a great start, and he's been good ever since. We've seen a couple of starts out here recently against the Mariners where he gave up a few more than that. In fact, it was the last time he saw Seattle. You might remember it was the beginning of that very long road trip. He allowed 4 long balls to these Mariners, keeping him off balance, he said, all night long. They had a really good approach coming in. The numbers inflated way up when he gives up more than 2 home runs. So coming in tonight, you can imagine that is going to be a focus for JV, and he was pretty fiery, TK and Blemmer, as I hand it off to you guys in the booth about that start. Looking forward to what he's going to do tonight. What do you think?
Yeah, well, Julia, the only time the Astros lost back-to-back games in the month of May was one of those games that Justin Verlander pitched in Seattle. So he'll try and avoid that happening here in June, and you've got to think you like your chances with JV on the mound.
Anytime he goes on the mound, you've got an opportunity to go out there. I think what's fun about JV is when he does have these rough starts, he makes those adjustments, and this is a pretty quick turnaround from a team that hit him pretty good in Seattle.
Yeah, just 2 Fridays ago, Blummer, they went after a lot of first pitches. They were very aggressive.
They did. StatCast 3D, powered by Google Cloud, is going to show you those first pitches. A lot of them over the heart of the plate. You can see that center column on that strike zone. JV is a guy that will come out there and throw a lot of strikes, but you really notice that the Seattle Mariners in that series were hyper-aggressive in the zone. They got some good pitches to hit, and they actually drove them out of the ballpark. It was kind of interesting to see them attack a couple pitches up in the zone. That's where JV usually does some pretty good work, is up in the zone. These guys got to him. A couple of sliders hung. Probably not too proud of how he let go of some of those pitches, but he was having some issues with the baseball. But the first pitch average is key for him to gain control of at-bats. But if you're a hitter and you have an opportunity to get a pitch in the zone that you can handle, you can see that's where they have the most opportunity to do some damage.
Now, once you get into the count, Justin Verlander holds the opponents to a 154 average and a 213 slug. So it will be interesting to see how he adjusts tonight against Seattle, facing them for a 4th time this year. When we come back, we'll talk about the Minute Maid Park man, Jose Altuve. His home numbers as good as anybody in baseball. More on Altuve right around the corner. By Whataburger. Get the new Southern Bacon Chicken Sandwich while you can, only at participating Whataburger locations. And by Rooms to Go, where you get great furniture prices and delivery is fast and easy. Jose Altuve will be leading off the bottom half of the first. That's usually a good thing at home.
It is. He's our No Player Does More, presented by HEB. Jose Altuve doing a great job here at Minute Maid Park. We know it can be a little rough as far as fans on the road, but here in this stadium, they absolutely love him. And he is repaying that love with a 4.11 average, and he is crushing the baseball here at Minute Maid Park. Getting on the train track last night, heading to that 750 slug.
Altuve with his 6th leadoff home run last night, 27 in his career. When we come back, we'll compare a couple of Astros legendary pitchers, Rocket, Roger Clemens, JV, Justin Verlander, both with the same number of starts in their career in an Astros uniform. Of a 3-game series, things got a little interesting last night in the 9th inning. There were some ejections, and today the fallout from last night's situation. Hector Neris gets a 4-game suspension. He is going to appeal that suspension. Dusty Baker, a 1-game suspension. He will honor that suspension tonight. He does not have the appeal process in his favor. Joe Espada, Omar Lopez, Troy Snicker, Astros coaches also get fined, as does the Seattle manager, Scott Service. But Joe Espada will be managing tonight, and he'll have Justin Verlander pitching for the Astros.
What a luxury for Joe to have Justin Verlander on the mound. Probably a little anxious to face the Seattle Mariner team again. Last time out against these Mariners, gave up 4 home runs in Seattle. Overall in the season, didn't really have much of an impact. Still a great ERA at 2.23. And that whip amazingly, consistently under 1. 61 strikeouts on the season for Justin.
Here's a lineup for the Mariners sent out by Scott Service. You've got Jesse Winker leading off in left field. Ty France will play first base. Then you've got Julio Rodriguez in the 3 spot. J.P. Crawford bats 4. Eugenio Suarez at third base. Adam Frazier at second. Abraham Toro gets a start as a DH. Taylor Trammell and Cal Raleigh round out the Mariners lineup. First pitch swinging right away. Jesse Winker hits it far, but foul.
Just a long strike. That's what Greg Maddux used to say when he threw that inside sinker to some left-handed hitters. But I'm sure that Justin Verlander understands that this team was aggressive last time. They're going to be aggressive again.
Winker 2 for 10 in his career against Verlander, including a home run. Swings in the second pitch as well and skies it way up in the air. Jose Altuve will call off Jeremy Pena and puts it away for the first out. Astros starting defense is presented by Xfinity. Jose Altuve on the right side of the infield with Yuli Gurriel. Jeremy Pena didn't try and call him off that pop-up. He'll be on the left side of the infield with Alex Bregman. Michael Brantley, Jose Siri in center, and Kyle Tucker from left to right for Brantley, his first start in left in close to a week. And Jason Castro also gets his first start in the last 6 games. Here's Ty France. He was the batter when everything went a little haywire last night. A pitch from Hector Neris clipped the back of France's jersey. From everything we saw both on the field and listening to Ty France's comments after the game, he was okay with everything. It was just the reactions from the dugouts that caused the issue.
No, that's 100% correct. That's why it's unfortunate that Neris got caught in that situation, because Ty France was just trying to argue his way onto first base after saying, hey, that ball hit me in the back. And he kind of commented, the post-game comments, he kind of talked to the umpire like, wait, what's going on? Why is everybody yelling? And he said next thing he knew, everybody was on the field hanging around him. So kind of an interesting situation.
It would be surprising if Neris did end up having to serve 4 games. That seems a little aggressive. Ground ball that is just fouled down the third baseline.
Yeah, it felt a little large, but at the same time, maybe the location of the pitch, being up around the head area, sometimes they have a tendency to reach out a little bit and overshoot the landing, trying to send a message. Maybe it's the only thing I could think of.
So Neris will appeal. He is available tonight, at least in theory. He has pitched in back-to-back games and may not be available in terms of usage, but the Astros don't want to lose him for 4 games for sure. Ty France, a swing and a miss as Justin Verlander picks up a strikeout against the best hitter for the Mariners this year, Ty France.
That slider looks good early. Empty Anderson strike zone is going to show you that slider breaking down and away in a beautiful location against Ty France to get that first strikeout of the game for Justin Verlander. There might be a little more malicious intent behind the slider today, considering what happened last time he faced the Mariners.
This guy did some damage in that first inning against JV. Julio Rodriguez hit a 2-run home run to right field. And this time he swings the first pitch and chops one to short. Jeremy Pena makes the play against the other American League Rookie of the Year candidate, and that'll do it for the Mariners. 1-2-3 start to this one for Justin Verlander. By Texas Children's Hospital, Jose Altuve will lead things off, followed by Michael Brantley. Alex Bregman hits third. Yordan Alvarez will DH tonight. Kyle Tucker in the 5 spot. Yuli Gurriel over first base. Jeremy Pena at shortstop batting 7th. Jason Castro and Jose Siri round out Joe Espada's lineup, originally written by Dusty Baker.
Chris Flexen is a 27-year-old right-hander making his 11th start of the season. 4.55 is that ERA. His last 3 starts against the Astros have all been in this season. He's 1-2 with a 2.50 ERA. The Astros are trying to crack the code on Chris Flexen and get to him and put up a big number.
It was something they've been able to do prior to this year. This year he has been a lot more effective against the Astros, facing them for the 4th time, 2nd time here in Houston. 3 of the 4 times now Flexen has been matched up against Justin Verlander. Astros and Verlander shutting out the Mariners in their ballpark on April 16th. And then Flexen returning the favor, winning 6-1 in that game that we've referenced, with JV giving up 4 home runs, including 2 in the 1st inning in Seattle the last time out. So this will be the first time they've paired up here at Minute Maid Park this year. Altuve last night with his 27th career leadoff home run. Astros losing to the Mariners for one of the rare times here at Minute Maid Park. Astros only their 5th loss in the last 31 games here against Seattle. Going upstairs, and Flexen has fallen behind 3-1. Flexen walked 3 in his start here in Houston on May the 3rd, but went 5 innings of 2-hit baseball, only allowed 1 run. Altuve chops the foul, now the count's full. Two pitches popped up, playable. Cal Raleigh, the catcher, fires the mask away. He's called off at the last second as Eugenio Suarez takes charge and puts it away for the 1st out.
Chris Flexen's pitch usage against right-handed hitters, the 4-seam fastball and the cut fastball are going to be the primary use. You saw it in that at-bat against Jose Altuve. The batting average against those pitches, .267 against that cutter. He'll throw it a lot against the Astros. Against the left-handed hitters, it'll be that 4-seamer and then the changeup. Changeup's been good to lefties, a .200 batting average against. And then he will also throw that cutter quite a bit, the occasional curveball mixed in.
Flexen delivers low to Michael Brantley. Michael's got a 3-game hitting streak going, hitting over 500 in that stretch. He's pushed his season average up to .287. Astros and Mariners meeting for the 11th time this year. 4 out of the 11 Chris Flexen has been on the mound. The Astros have won 5. The Mariners have won 5 so far. Inside 2-1. Brantley .287 overall, 1 point shy of Yordan Alvarez, leading the team in batting average. Michael has been better here at home this year, hitting .319 in 20 home games on the season. 3-1, 2nd straight hitters count.
It's a good thing. Make Flexen work early. Work that count in your favor.
Didn't have to be a strike, but Jordan Baker, the home plate umpire, calls that one a strike, and now the count's full.
It's all right. It's early. Trying to get your bearings. It's not going to upset Michael. Another pitch means another opportunity to get a base knock. Chris Flexen against the Astros. You can see everybody else in the league on the right-hand side. The fastball is going to stay the same, but that cut fastball really comes into play. We see it a little more frequently, 4% more against the Astros. Also, that changeup ramps up a little bit. And that could be because of Brantley, Tucker, and Alvarez in that lineup against Chris Flexen.
Upstairs, ball 4, so a couple of full counts to start this one. He got Altuve to pop up, and now Michael Brantley draws a walk. Runner on for Alex Bregman. Bregman did not have a hit last night, but he walked a couple of times. Now with a team leading 32 walks on the year. We've mentioned this before. Jordan Baker is the tallest umpire in Major League Baseball at 6'7", and sometimes those high strikes are strikes for him, but not necessarily for the hitter at the plate who's 5'10".
Yeah, you got to push that down a little bit. That one was well above the zone.
Flexen, 27-year-old, making his 10th start of the year. Signed a 2-year deal last offseason with the Mariners. Coming back after a year in Korea. Had been with the Mets his entire career prior to that. Those first 2 pitches are both about the same height. One was called a ball and one was called a strike.
Yep. We haven't had the coin toss in this game yet.
That one down and scoots away from Cal Raleigh. That'll allow Michael Brantley to move up to second base. So the Astros put a runner in scoring position on the wild pitch.
Curveball down. We'll see it on our match from Supermo. The spin, then watch the catcher. He was angled that way. You try and keep that chest squared up towards the pitcher so you get that bounce out in front. But once you create an angle with that chest, that just ricocheted right away from him and allowed Brantley to gain 90 feet.
2-1 pitch is popped high in the air into right field. Taylor Trammell, the right fielder, puts it away. Oh, Bregman retired for out number 2. Flexen will now face Yordan Alvarez. Reigning American League Player of the Week was shut down last night. Didn't have a hit and snapped a 7-game hitting streak. Good numbers against Flexen in his career, 4 for 10 with a couple of home runs. There was a lot going on yesterday for Yordan. The announcement before the game of a 6-year contract extension. Part of a press conference and lots of attention to number 44 yesterday. Now a day removed, a chance to get back into his normal routine. He sends this ball on the ground the other way. The only fielder on that side is Eugenio Suarez, who makes the play. And that'll do it for the Astros in the first. A walk, 1 man left on base.
For you on this JV day, make sure to check Twitter at ATT Sports NSW. Which milestone will Verlander accomplish again first? All things he's done. Cy Young, no hitter, 300 strikeout season, or a 20-win season. Those are your options. We will let you know which one wins a little bit later in the show. Guys, interesting to hear his comments after that Seattle start and the Oakland start, talking a lot about that slider. I know that's been inconsistent for him all year, but especially in Seattle. He said that was better against Oakland, been working on the grip a little bit, just some little adjustments, trying to find it, which means he hasn't had it all going here lately despite pitching pretty well.
Yeah, amazing. Searching for a pitch and hitting and having the numbers he has. This ball eats up Jose Altuve. Altuve said that ball really was a sinker as it started at his waist and ended up at his knees, and he stayed with it for a catch on the line drive by J.P. Crawford.
It maybe had some top spin, but if a guy actually squares one up, it can knuckle out there. And you can see the bottom drop out of that one, almost act like a split to Jose Altuve, who thought he was going to catch it about chest high, and then it just took a nosedive. It's a pretty good visual on the trajectory as that ball got to Altuve.
So Altuve makes the play as the Mariners now have swung at the first pitch with 3 of the first 4 hitters.
They've been fastballs early. They have been jumping on those, but the location on them a little bit different. Not up in the zone, a little more down. That one elevated, but I think he's going to pick and choose who he goes after. J.P. Crawford coming into this game today. Now he got a base hit early on a high fastball yesterday, hitting .395 against pitches up in the zone.
Suarez takes one inside for a ball, 1-1. Hey, Eugenio Suarez, a home run in his last game against Justin Verlander. One of the 4 hit by the Mariners that night. Or actually, Suarez didn't hit one that night, but does have 1 career home run against Verlander. But in 12 career at bats, Verlander has struck him out 8 times. The only hit allowed was that home run. Suarez got Verlander here in a game JV pitched on May the 4th. This ball hit in the air to right field. Long run for Tucker. He's near the stands and he's going to run out of room. Nice catch. Reaching over by a row or 2. That guy's fired up. Got a Bagwell shirt on.
Watch the right edge of your screen.
Oh, he took one away.
Robbing people of it. Nice.
That was a 2-row reach. This ball hit to right, sending Tucker towards the line. He'll have room this time, right at the edge of the warning track. Puts it away for out number 2. Don't forget, it's Tuesday night, which means it's Twitter Tuesday. Also, we're going to have the Astros general manager with us in the booth next half inning, so you can throw a question out there for him as well. James Click will join us. So send it to @ATT Sportsnet SW on Twitter. You can hashtag it as well. Astros Tuesday will be the hashtag to go. Your thoughts on anything going on with the team? You happy with what the team's done? Thoughts on the Yordan new contract? Any ideas you might have with James Click coming into the booth? We'll have him next half inning. Wide open forum. @ATT Sportsnet SW. Astros Tuesday on the hashtag. 1-1 the count.
Should be some interesting responses. Fans here in Houston are definitely engaged with this ball club.
I have a feeling a lot of Yordan Alvarez apparel has been sold in the last 24 hours. Maybe even beyond that. It became official yesterday, but people had a pretty good idea over the weekend that Yordan might be hanging around here for a while.
This is a really good pitch.
Didn't get the call on Adam Frazier. It's 2-1. Frazier lines one past Yuli Gurriel into right field. Tucker hustles over and holds Frazier to a single. First hit allowed by Verlander, 2-out hit by Adam Frazier.
It's got to be frustrating for JV. He made a really good pitch the previous one and then comes with the fastball down and Frazier turns on it. Not much movement in that swing of Frazier. Just trying to move the ball around the field, find some open space, and he did.
I'll bring up Abraham Toro. Toro came on as a pinch hitter last night and flied out to right field. former Astro, batting 168 on the year, does have 6 home runs. For 6 in his career against the guy who he saved a no-hitter for up in Toronto. Toro on this trip has started at 2nd and 3rd. Also DHing tonight, 2 for 20 on this road trip. It's a 3-city trip for Seattle, wrapping up here in Houston. 1-2 out of 3 in Baltimore, 1-2 out of 3 in Arlington against the Rangers, and won the first one last night. They have won 7 of their last 10 games, including a 5-2 record on this 9-game road trip. That one popped high in the air on the infield. Yuli Gurriel is there, and Yuli puts it away for the final out.
On the Astros right fielder Kyle Tucker been swinging it well here lately. We saw him go deep against Cleveland that last homestand. He'd been hitting so well on the road. He did that on this last road trip. He even missed a few games in there, but returned to the lineup and picked up where he left off. You see the numbers there. Getting on base, 455. So he's drawing the walks as well as sending it out, getting his multi-hit games here recently, kind of keeping a simple approach. We heard him say that a couple of days ago in Kansas City. And there's the batting gloves, orange, gray. Maybe general manager James Click can give us some data on that, guys.
Yeah, James joining us in the booth here for the bottom half of the 2nd inning. You guys break down everything. Do you have the batting glove versus no batting glove theory going?
Well, the color is clearly the deciding factor in how good the batting gloves are. So, but that information is proprietary.
Gotcha. Glad to have James up in the booth with us here on this Twitter Tuesday. James, big news coming out of Astros here camp on Monday, the first day of this homestand. Yordan Alvarez, good timing as he wins Player of the Week.
Yeah, we were waiting for that before we finalized the contract. So, yeah, obviously.
Congrats.
Thank you. It's congrats to Yordan. Congrats to everybody. Obviously, very exciting to know that he'll be here with us for the next 6.5 years.
So, what are you projecting his numbers over the next 6.5 years? Large, quite large.
But yeah, kind of like him.
Yep,
yeah.
exactly.
Yeah.
No, he's a true talent. You actually said something very nice about him and being very good off the field. But what did you? The thing about Yordan for me is that he's not just a slugger. He's very disciplined, like you said. Can you talk a little bit about that and help fans understand what that means for a guy that is as good as he is?
Yeah, he's a hitter first and a power hitter second. He covers the entire plate. He will go to the opposite field. He takes what the pitcher gives him. He can cover any pitch, whether it's hard, whether it's soft, and that allows him to just be very, very difficult to scout. He doesn't have something that jumps off the scouting report as if we attack this guy hard in or soft away or up or down. It makes him a very complete hitter and somebody that we feel confident is going to continue to have the success that we've seen here over this week when he won the Player of the Week and obviously over the start of his career.
And one thing you also mentioned in that press conference was his ability to play the field, and he and Michael have basically been a 50-50 split out there. That's different from the past.
Yeah, no question. And it's 100% because of Yordan, his work ethic and his dedication to that. And that speaks volumes about who he is and how he's going to carry himself going forward.
Yeah, the future is bright for the Astros, locking up Yordan Alvarez, obviously Altuve and Bregman. You're going to have them around for a little bit longer. But also this guy at the plate, being able to take a chance and letting a guy like Carlos Correa leave. Talk a little bit about Jeremy Pena and how much fun it's been for you to watch him develop and fill a void at shortstop very nicely.
Well, he's a credit to our scouting group, and we'll pick that up again.
My goodness.
In a little bit.
Yeah, James Click, quick inning. He is here for 6 pitches, but we'll have a little more with James in the top half of the 3rd. General manager about players that the Astros have for a number of years. That's a pretty good group of 6 right there.
Yeah, no question. And it's something that we are excited about, those guys, but also we know that we have to keep injecting youth and new players into the lineup and into the organization to keep that championship window open. And so having somebody like Jeremy come up, have the success that he's had so far in his career is the kind of thing that will hopefully allow us to continue to put a championship caliber team on the field year over year.
I know you don't talk specifically about negotiations, but the thought of two guys in their mid-20s, Jordan 24, Kyle Tucker 25, being here for a while, you're way ahead of the game for most teams with those two guys on your roster.
Yeah, but just having them in the organization to start with
Right.
is a testament to our scouting group, our player development people. These guys don't show up fully formed. You have to go scout them. You have to learn about them as people. You have to learn about their makeup, their work ethic, and then we have to get them in here and develop them. And obviously, the player is the one who puts in the work and the effort, and they are the talent. But our scouts and our coaches do a tremendous job with these guys.
I feel like a lot of other teams will watch what you are doing and envy that a little bit because you do take the analytics and marry them with the eye test and the baseball people around that. So that's pretty cool. That last month of May was pretty impressive. Do you like what you saw?
I mean, it's hard to get nitpicky after a month like that. It would be nice to have an undefeated month, but this is baseball, so we are being realistic. But the month was obviously great. I think even more than that, going 23-10 in that stretch of 33 games in 34 days, we had circled that early on the calendar as a real test for this team, and they came through with flying colors.
How impressed, or how were you able to know that your starting rotation was going to be able to get that deep into games, 6-7 innings consistently? And are you encouraging that, or how do you encourage that?
Well, first and foremost, it starts with the defense. It's not just pitching; it's run prevention. And our defense has been performing exceptionally well this year. It shortens up innings. I mean, you've already seen it in the game today with guys catching a couple line drives. Just saving those at bats. That's 4, 5, 6, 8 pitches that Justin Verlander doesn't have to throw because guys are either they have the range or they're positioned correctly. And so that shortening of games allows you to lengthen the starter out. It honestly has an effect on the roster in total because we only have 13 pitchers right now, even though we could have 14. So it allows us to have an extra position player. So all of it comes back to run prevention, but I just don't want to lose sight of the defense and how good those guys have been.
It's been amazing.
I know you and others, as Cal Raleigh bats after Taylor Trammell struck out, you and other GMs have talked about the volatility of having a really good bullpen year in and year out, maybe the toughest task for a GM. You have to be really pleased with what you've seen. I know you've had a couple of lefties get hurt the last week or so, but what you've seen from that bullpen this year. Yeah,
no question. And the bullpen's the thing that I think everybody always gravitates towards, as though GMs can magically fix it or will a bullpen out of thin air. And it's certainly not that easy. It was a huge focus for us last year at the trade deadline, obviously. But some of the moves that we made then, we knew that they were going to carry over into this year. And so I know that we didn't get to see Rafael Montero last year, but he was a big part of that trade. And Phil Maton was a guy that we knew we would have with us for a few years beyond last year. And so while Yimi Garcia and Kendall Graveman we knew were short-term assets, we wanted to blend that with some long-term guys to continue the success out there.
No, it's been fantastic. That pitching staff is actually what thrusted the team into first place in the American League West. What have you seen from the offense? What adjustments do you think guys can make, or what are you seeing as far as the offense is concerned? Because we haven't seen the run production we're accustomed to, and yes, we are spoiled.
We are incredibly spoiled. So let's say that first and foremost. Secondly, I think the at-bats have been good. We haven't come up with the hits in the big spots as much as I think we're used to seeing around here. Yesterday we had a lot of solo home runs, and we couldn't quite get that big hit with runners in scoring position. That's the kind of thing that over time we know that these guys are going to come through. And so as the quality of at-bats go from those bases empty situations to the situations where guys are on, I think we'll see the run scoring start to move closer towards where some of the underlying performance would indicate.
We have a Twitter Tuesday question for you, James. So
okay.
We opened it up to the fans, and they wanted to talk to the general manager. So Gustavo wants to know what the latest is with Jake Myers.
Jake's doing very well. Jake is down at Sugarland. They are on the road right now, but they will be back soon, and you can go to Sugarland, get your Space Cowboys tickets, head on out there and see him and Taylor Jones. He's doing really well. One of the best things that I saw was on the first inning of the game the other day. He actually dove for a ball in the outfield. And these are the kind of things when you're coming back from a shoulder injury that you can't recreate in a rehab setting. And so seeing him do that, have it be instinctual, have him not thinking about the shoulder, have him pop up, look totally normal, those are the kind of things we're looking for.
Is it too early to have a timeline on somebody like Jake?
Just a little bit,
Yeah.
yeah. It's definitely a day-to-day thing. He's more in a spring training mode than a recovery mode at this point, so we just want to get that at-bat total and the timing back. But, we showed that graphic earlier about guys that we have on the roster for a while. Jake Myers is another big part of that.
Absolutely. Now, I don't know, how much you could appreciate Kelvin Sampson being here because you're such a Dookie, but Kelvin Sampson was here, and Julia had a chance to interview him. You know about the University of Houston Love. Our next Twitter Tuesday question is about a minor leaguer who's a Cougar, who's been hitting a lot of home runs lately. So Jay wants to know how impressed you are by Corey Jolk's recent hot streak.
Well, very impressed. No, Corey's been a guy who, has always been a hitter, and he's continuing to progress at the plate. We want to continue to work with him on the defensive side of things and being a complete player in the field. But the bat is definitely the carrying tool with Corey, and it's excited to see him get a little bit more power, continue to gain strength and size and athleticism, and put that into play.
We're 2 months into the season. Your team is in pretty good command of the American League West. Are you looking at that trade deadline for anything, or is there, I know you're probably kicking the tires and maybe having some talks. Is there anything you can kind of let us know a little bit about? Maybe, because like you said, this team's pretty darn good.
They are, and they've given us the luxury of taking our time and not having to do anything, not out of desperation, but we can take a little bit of a longer view. That said, it has only been 2 months. We are basically a third of the way through the season. We certainly wouldn't trade the first couple months for anything, but we have a long way to go, and we'll continue to assess things as we come up on that August 2nd trade deadline and see what we need.
Even though it's just one, well, I don't think we're going to get to this question. It'll be next time.
Sorry, guys.
James, thanks so much.
Absolutely.
Great job. Good seeing you, man.
Appreciate it.
All right, James Click joining us, the general manager of the Houston Astros. We head to the bottom of the third, still scoreless.
Question, looking for an update on Lance McCullers Jr., Jake Odorizzi, thoughts on what rotation might look like when they come back. Well, for the best coverage in the game, here's a look at our T-Mobile coverage cam. Here's your update on Lance McCullers Jr. Steady progress being made with his rehab right now. He told me he bumped the velocity up to 87 during a bullpen that he threw in Kansas City. He threw again today. That's what you're looking at now, 25 pitches. So the number of pitches is going up as well, mixing in a cutter as well to go with the fastball and changeup. So continuing to move in the right direction, guys.
All right, Julia, thanks for those updates. We look forward to seeing Lance and Jake Odorizzi back at full health as Jason Castro will lead things off here, bottom half of the third. Thanks to James Click for joining us in the booth in the bottom of the second and the top of the third inning. Of course, we had two pretty quick innings there, but we covered most topics we wanted to, and we also got in a couple of questions from the fans on our Twitter Tuesday.
That was good. James is a fun conversation. But yeah, way too quick. I mean, I'm upset, but I'm not upset.
The one question I wanted to get in before the inning ended, and he kind of answered it during the commercial break, was whether the extra team getting to the postseason in each league might impact the trade deadline. And he said it's still to be determined, but it might help out sellers more because more teams think they're in it at that point. But he also said it depends on how the standings shake out. If there is, more of a gap in between those last playoff spots and the non-contenders. So we'll see. I think the fact that it is going to make more teams think they have a shot could make it a little tougher to get trades done in terms of what the inventory is and what buyers might have available, and there's a lot of teams out there trying to buy. Jason Castro goes down on strikes. That's the first strikeout for Chris Flexit, and one out in the third.
And he's in a unique spot to have a very good farm system too, with a lot of good arms, maybe around that AA part of his organization. So I'm sure that those teams who think they might be sellers are definitely going through a lot of rosters right now, trying to figure out what they could get for some of the guys on their current roster.
He's in a unique position as well in that there's some flexibility with the salary cap that might not have been available the last couple of years.
Yep.
Here's Jose Siri. Siri takes a called strike. I mean, just this position alone, we've already talked about Jake Myers rehabbing. You've got Jose Siri, you've got Chas McCormick, you've got depth at one position. Not all three of those guys are going to be able to play at this level.
Yep. That Jake Myers can be that addition when he's healthy. You don't have to go out and find that center fielder. You just got to figure out how you're going to mix these guys in and make them consistent, or you make one of them available. I'm not saying I want that or they should do that, but that's what other teams are going to be looking at. And Lance McCullers, Julia just talked about him. If he's able to ramp things up and make himself available towards the end of the season, what capacity is that? Is he a bullpen guy, or is he a guy that's going to be in your starting rotation? That would be a huge pickup. His pitching staff is already extremely good. That would make them outrageously good.
Old tapper towards the middle of the diamond. The second baseman charges and makes the play. Adam Frazier throws out Jose Siri, and there's 2 away in the inning. And now a word from Gallery Furniture.
No, back or slip at Gallery Furniture. Gallery Furniture delivers your furniture free today.
Back we go to the top of the order. First time through the lineup, Chris Flexen not allowing a hit. Only base runner that has reached for the Astros. A walk to Michael Brantley. Altuve got into a 3-1 count last time before popping up on a 3-2 pitch. And watches that first pitch sail wide, 1-0. Flexen coming off an outing where he went 5 innings, allowed 3 runs in Baltimore. Second start on this road trip for Seattle. He got a no decision in that outing after having a decision in every other start to begin the season except one. He's had 10 starts and 8 decisions so far. 2-1 the count to Altuve. Gary Pettis makes the play on a couple of bounces. It counts 2-2. GP's used to taking the signals from Dusty Baker on the far end of the dugout. He's got a different vantage point to look in today, as Joe Espada usually sits on that inside part of the well. There you see Joe right there next to Brian Snicker, Troy Snicker, Brian's dad. But Joe's the acting manager today.
Sitting a little bit taller. He's got that manager posture.
3-2 pitch is sent high in the air, playable. Winker's going to give room to Julio Rodriguez. That'll do it for the Astros. 1-2-3 third inning for Chris Flexen.
Early in the count, Justin Verlander, first pitches. Fastballs to right-handed hitters. You can see them down in the zone, up in the zone, moving it all over the place. J.P. Crawford loves that fastball up, but he's able to get ahead on some of it. How about the left-handed hitters getting first pitch breaking balls at the bottom part of the order, trying to establish with the off speed? And it's back on that fastball as he faces the Seattle Mariner lineup the second time through the order. Just something to keep your eye on. Watching a Seattle Mariner team that likes to swing early and often against Justin.
Rodriguez did. Julio grounded out to short on one pitch his first time up. And this time he takes a fastball for a strike. 3, 4, and 5 in the Seattle lineup. Julio Rodriguez, J.P. Crawford, and Eugenio Suarez. This is the curveball, and JV gets ahead of Rodriguez, 0-2.
Uncle Charlie came in there spinning pretty good.
Yeah, the curveball has been fine for Justin this year. He has been happy with that breaking ball. It's been the slider that he hasn't loved the consistency of. He missed with the slider there on 0-2 on a pitch that was pretty far down and away. There's a better one as he gets the swing and miss. Julio Rodriguez goes down on strikes. That is now 4 strikeouts for Verlander.
3 of the 4 strikeouts have been on that slider, and he's actually thrown extremely good ones. Very consistent, as you see the release point on our Mattress Firm Super Mode, getting to that outside corner.
Yeah, like Julius said earlier, without his slider weapon working as well as he would like, he still put up incredible numbers through 10 starts this year. Now if he locks in that slider, who knows what kind of run he might get on. It's really just been 1 start for Verlander, the 6-run outing against Seattle. 6 of the 16 earned runs he's allowed all year. So in 9 starts, he's allowed 10 runs. In 1 start, he allowed 6. 1-1 the count. J.P. Crawford hit the ball hard his first time up, lined out to Jose Altuve. Broken bat over the head of Alex Bregman into left field. Not hit hard by J.P. Crawford, but he reaches with 1 out here in the 4th.
Curveball coming in, got well in on the hands of J.P. Crawford. Sounded destructive. To get jammed on a curveball like that, that's a long swing.
Now Eugenio Suarez tries to hold up but can't, goes around on the breaking ball. It's 0-1. Suarez hit one to the edge of the warning track in right field his first time up. This one into center, coming on Siri. He won't be able to get there. Plays it on a hop. Back-to-back singles for the Mariners. Suarez dumps one into center field in front of Siri, and now first and second with 1 out. Bring the family out to the ballpark on Sundays and enjoy Kids Run the Bases, presented by Ulshan Foundation Solutions. Kids age 5 to 12 are encouraged to come down to the field to run the bases like their favorite players. Race over to astros.com/promotions to get your tickets today. Here's Adam Frazier. He singled his first time up. So now the Mariners with 3 hits, the 2 that are on base and the guy at the plate. Frazier takes a high strike, 0-1. High part of the zone's been open for both pitchers tonight. JV gets ahead 0-2. Verlander is 465th start of his career. His 85th in an Astros uniform, and he is currently 1 strikeout behind Max Scherzer, who's on the injured list. 19th all-time in strikeouts in Major League history with 3,078. Scherzer with 3,079. Ball gets away, but not far enough for J.P. Crawford to advance. It's 1-2. Frazier had a hit last night. 1 for 4 with a walk. The hit snapped an 0 for 20. He's 3 for 26 on this road trip. No swing, says third base umpire and crew chief Chris Guccione. Count goes to 2-2.
Right on that edge of the front edge of the plate. Usually if that barrel gets out in front of home plate, that call usually goes against the hitter. Frazier able to hold up.
There's a line drive base hit to right. Crawford will be held by Maniacta. Tucker got to the ball in a hurry. His throw a little offline, but it doesn't matter. They held up Crawford. So 3 consecutive hits. Crawford, Suarez, and Frazier all with singles to load up the bases.
Trying to get that inside corner. It stayed out over the middle part of the plate. Frazier put a compact swing on it, ends up getting a base hit, and that reputation of Kyle Tucker is what held J.P. Crawford at third.
So now Abraham Toro will bat. Bases loaded, 1 out. Toro popped up his first time up and takes a strike.
Talked about Toro helping Justin in that no-hitter up in Toronto. He could help him right now just by hitting a ground ball.
Toro's only hit into 1 double play on the year. This one slowly hit. Altuve's going to have to hustle. No chance for Payne to turn it. As they get the out at second. Adam Frazier sliding into the bag. Upended Pena. Fans booing because they're not used to seeing that, but he landed on the bag. It was a clean play.
Well, things got a little spicy last night, so this isn't going to help that issue. That's where Jeremy gets in a tough position. If he's not in that shift situation, he's coming from the shortstop side, and it's a little bit easier for him to get out of the way. So I think just the awkwardness of being in the shift, going to cover second base, kind of put him in a tough spot. A little contact. It's all right.
Toro with the fielder's choice RBI. Seattle leads 1-0. Now Verlander going after Taylor Trammell.
You can see at the top of the screen, that's where Jeremy was coming from. I do want you to go a little more into the bag.
Inside for a ball, 2-0. Trammell struck out his first time up. 3 consecutive hits in this inning, followed by a fielder's choice, putting the Mariners on the board.
Yeah, nothing really hit hard. A couple of soft serve singles and then a lazy ground ball that wasn't able to be turned.
Verlander had innings of 7, 13, and 14 pitches coming into this one. This will be his 20th pitch of the fourth. Missing down and in, 3-0. Eugenio Suarez on third, Abraham Toro on first. Verlander with a 3-0 count on Trammell. strike.
Justin not giving in, still going with that spin. It's been a couple of curveballs, a couple of sliders to get to this 3-1 count.
Mel takes another one for a strike, and now the count's 3-2. Good Tuesday night crowd. Dollar Dog Night usually draws a few extra fans, and they are looking for that final out here in the 4th inning. Count stays full. Trammell hit a home run against Justin Verlander in that outing in Seattle. 2 for 4 in his career with a home run against JV. That was one where he styled it up a little bit at the plate, and it just barely got beyond the glove of Jose Siri over the center field wall.
That's knowing your pop.
Swing and a miss. Verlander slaps the glove on that strikeout. He ties Matt Scherzer on the all-time strikeout list with number 3,079.
Real good slider to get Trammell again. A couple of strikeouts as this score is 1-0 Seattle.
Meet Luis Garcia's little doppelganger. Maldi and Uncle Mike reminisce about the early days of their career, and you'll get a sneak peek at the new Nolan Ryan documentary. All that and more on ABL this Friday at 5:30, only on AT&T Sportsnet. TK.
All right, Julia. Michael Brantley will lead things off against Chris Flexen. Brantley, the only one to reach base against Flexen tonight. Drew a walk, went to second on a wild pitch, but no other Astro has reached base. In fact, nobody has had a hard hit baseball against Flexen tonight. Nothing 95 miles an hour or better against the Seattle right-hander through 3 innings.
He's done a very good job against the Astros. Just enough movement on his cutter. He throws it consistently enough to get hitters on it. And then once they do, he throws the straight fastball. On that changeup primarily to left-handed hitters.
One the count to Michael had a 3-hit game last night. Both Altuve and Brantley with 3-hit games last night in the Astros 7-4 loss. Only the second game this year the Astros lost when scoring 4 runs or more. Astros come into this game with 227 runs scored on the year. The Mariners with 229. But in the run prevention column, James Click was talking about, the Astros way out in front, 183, including that run that just scored, compared to 240 allowed by the Mariners. Now it's 2-2. Astros starting the night with an 8.5 game lead in the American League West, and the team that is chasing the Astros in the midst of a 12-game losing streak, hiring their manager today. Joe Maddon let go by the Angels.
That one caught me a little off guard. I got to be honest. I know that they were in a tough stretch, but Joe Maddon's reputation as being a very good manager. Kind of a tough situation, too, with a lot of injuries. The bullpen getting beat around a little bit. But a good friend of mine, Phil Nevin, is now the manager, the interim manager of the Los Angeles Angels of Anaheim.
Brantley on a 2-2 pitch, hits one to center field. He just got under it. And Julio Rodriguez puts it away. It's 1 out in the 4th inning. I'll bring up Alex Bregman, who flied out to right his first time up. Yeah, tough spot for Perry Minasian, the general manager, as he felt like he had to do something there. Span of a week, Joe Girardi let go by the Phillies and Joe Maddon let go by the Angels, 2 teams that felt like they'd be a little bit better spot in the standings at the 1/3 point of the season.
Both teams had high expectations for this season, too.
Both teams have been letting some games slip away late. That doesn't help things. It's like James Click said, there's no magic potion for general managers to establish a bullpen. You have to really work at it and have some foresight. And one of the reasons why that Rafael Montero trade was made when it was so the Astros could acquire Montero, as he had been designated for assignment. Timing didn't look good for the Mariners because they had just won a big game against the Astros, who were there tracking down, and they trade Kendall Graveman to the Astros. And Seattle wanted to get a guy in Toro that they could hold on to for a few years, and Montero just wasn't working out for them and was an expendable piece that the Astros were happy to pick up. Counts 2-2. There's a ball in the right field for a base hit. Astros get their first hit of the game. 1 out into the 4th inning. Alex Bregman, a clean single to right. League leaders are presented by Houston Methodist. If you go back to last year and compare what Yordan did last year to what he is doing this year, the discipline has been much better. Balls in plays plus much better, and the run value way off the charts better than last year.
And I think it's because of that discipline. Once you get a little more discipline and you show pitchers that you're not going to expand, chase, all of a sudden they panic a little bit and say, I've got to get on the plate with this guy. And when they do get on the plate, Yordan Alvarez is a guy that can be absolutely demonstrative when he goes out there and swings at pitches over the fat part of the plate.
And when you watch Yordan on a regular basis, number one, he hasn't been striking out much lately. Number two, he rarely leaves the zone. Yordan, even in his 0 for 4 yesterday, put the ball in play all 4 times. And during his hitting streak of 7 games, he had only struck out once in those 7 games. So 1 strikeout his last 8 games here during this recent run. Backs him off the plate here, 2-0.
We got him to ground out on a changeup, but it was a very well located changeup. Yordan has done some serious damage on changeups throughout the course of the season. 6 home runs of his 16 have been off the changeup.
It's been over a week now, May 30th. The last time Yordan struck out, that was against the A's to start that series right after the Seattle series.
It's not what sluggers do.
Well, Flexen knows the numbers. 2 home runs of 4 career hits for Yordan Alvarez against him. And now he's 3-0 against the big man. And that ball is rocketed but foul. 1 hop into the screen. That's where the netting may have saved some fans.
Yeah, that's why the net's up.
Fans can get one tossed to them a little bit lighter than the Yordan screaming line drive.
He's lucky that Yordan got a little bit quick on that one and pulled it foul at 112.3 miles an hour.
Upstairs, ball 4. Jordan draws another walk. We talked about his discipline, and he walks for yet another time. Jordan, 25 walks now on the season.
That's another part of discipline. You get a guy that doesn't want to expand the zone too much, swing at a pitch that's off the plate just because he's in a hitter's count. He'll take that walk. It's also nice being in a lineup where you can have that kind of depth just to take the walk and let the guy behind you try and do some damage. This is that situation that James Click was talking about too. With all the solo home runs they've been hitting, especially the ones they hit yesterday, they'd like to do that damage with guys on base, and they've got that right now.
Jordan with his 28th walk. Tucker with 27 walks. Bregman leading the way on the team with 32. And now you've got the back-to-back Jordan-Kyle Tucker dynamic.
I like it. I know that there, two lefties back-to-back. It opens up that pocket where you can bring in a left-handed reliever out of the bullpen. But until you get to that point, you've got damage incorporated in Alvarez and Tucker back-to-back.
I like that nickname. Tucker takes one inside for a ball, 1-0.
Sound even better if he goes yard right here.
Tuck popped up to second base his first time up. He's riding a 6-game hitting streak. Tucker hitting .429 in that streak, including 3 more hits in last night's game. Flexen has fallen behind Alvarez, and now Tucker is 2-0. Astros trying to answer as the Mariners scored a run here in the top of the 4th. 2 on and 1 out, and a 2-0 count to Kyle Tucker. Popped up in the shallow center. It needs to fall fast, and it will. Great read by Alex Bregman. He's going to score. And a ball that dropped in front of Jesse Winker. Bregman, an incredible base running decision.
Ain't pretty, but it works. And a lot of the reason it did work is because TK's right. That was a heck of a read by Alex Bregman. Tucker got jammed, kind of forced this one into the outfield, but Alex did a good job of reading the ball, reading the defense, understanding that it was going to be in that Bermuda Triangle between Winker, Rodriguez, and Crawford. That was beautifully done.
So Bregman's base running, giving an RBI to Kyle Tucker to tie the game up. Now here's Yuli Gurriel.
Another look from behind home plate. Watch Alex Bregman. His instincts were right, but he had to keep an eye on it to make sure of it. And once he understood that his instincts were right, he took off, and it was easy. It's a little Johnny baseball play right there.
A little bit down for a ball, 1-1. Yeah, that was well done on a ball that was right in between 3 different defensive players. Yuli grounded out his first time up. That one popped in the air. Playable for Julio Rodriguez. Comes in to shallow center field to put it away for the second out. The Astros answered the Mariners twice yesterday. After the Mariners scored a run in the first and 3 runs in the second, the Astros answered with that same total in the bottom halves of each of those innings. The only inning they weren't able to answer was the 4th, and that's because Jose Altuve got thrown out at home plate on a double by Michael Brantley. They would have possibly answered in that inning. Tonight they have answered the solo run by the Mariners, and here's Jeremy Pena with 2 on and 2 outs. Pena swings through the first pitch, 0-1. Coming into today, Pena 3 for 6 against Flexen with a double and a sac fly. He lined out his first time up. There's a base hit into right center field. Jordan on the move. He'll be waved home. Heading to third is Tucker. He'll get there. 2-1 Astros. Jeremy Pena, the RBI single with 2 outs.
There's some big hits. 2-out lightning off the bat of Jeremy Pena. That's how you take that cutter and go the other way. Let it travel a little bit, barrel it up, shoot it through the shift that's being played against you, and pick up that 2-out RBI.
Big man can move when he wants to.
Man, you see him put his chest down and go. Woo.
It was fun to watch. I'll bring up Jason Castro with first and third and 2 outs. Castro struck out his first time up. Only strikeout so far today for Chris Flexen. That ball into left field coming on Winker. He'll get there to put it away for the final out of the inning. But the Astros take the lead, scoring 2 runs. They do so with 3 hits. Jeremy Pena giving the team the lead. It's 2-1.
Game. 10,000 kids will get Dusty Baker wristbands presented by Chick-fil-A Houston. Visit Astros.com/promotions to find tickets today.
Julia modeled those in Kansas City, at least the real
briefly.
ones.
Yeah, briefly. It was a sweltering 75 out there.
Well, I still have them.
Oh,
that's cool. You're
Really
never giving them back?
I don't match my top. But I mean, I could pull it off, I think. What do you think?
Yeah, you could.
And actually not too bad with the top, right?
These are very festive colors.
Give me a second.
The Dusty Baker real wristbands. You've got the legit ones.
Yeah, those are gamers.
Can you see his face?
Yeah.
It's the detail. Okay, stop looking at me.
It's an honor. It's in honor of Dusty because he's not in the dugout.
Yes.
So he doesn't have the wristbands on, I doubt, wherever he's watching the game.
Oh, come on. Dusty's he's in there watching the game with his wristbands on. Come on.
Come on.
Come on.
There's no chance.
It's either that or he's hanging out next to the owner and James Click.
But Julia representing the wristband with
somebody has to have them on during the game.
In Dusty's absence, she is repping the Dusty wristbands.
I just realized he's watching.
Of course.
I'm so embarrassed now.
Why?
Dusty, I hope I did you right.
Didn't Dusty give those to you to show off?
Yes, he did. I just, I didn't have it all ready. I wasn't in Dusty mode.
We need to get you a toothpick.
I'm sure Dusty's just fine. Yes, a toothpick would complete things. I'm sure Dusty's very happy that you're repping the wristbands on a night he can't be in the dugout, slipping the 1-game suspension. Cal Raleigh, who walked his first time up, down to the count here 0-2. Verlander left the mound down 1-0. Now takes the mound in the 5th, up 2-1. Facing Raleigh and then the top of the order for the 3rd time through. Raleigh had a career game last night, knocking in 4 runs, most in his career. 3-run home run and an RBI single. The RBI single was the difference in the game. This one on the ground. Nice diving stop by Yuli. Goes down to a knee and flips it to Justin Verlander. Yuli, a nice play to his right.
Couple of steps to his right. Read the hop, backhand and a flip. Nice play between the 2 veterans.
I'll bring up the top of the order Jesse Winker, who has popped up and struck out. Winker 2 for 12 in his career against Verlander. one of the two hits for Winker is a home run. Winker taking over that leadoff spot for Adam Frazier from Adam Frazier. 12th time he's batted in the leadoff spot for Seattle. The Mariners yesterday winning for just the 5th time in the last 31 games at Minute Maid Park. They have lost 8 straight series in Houston. They won the first game here last night 7-4. We're leading briefly here in this one. Astros trying to get a win behind Justin Verlander. JV facing them for the 4th time. Chris Flexen facing the Astros for a 4th time. Tapper foul. Verlander with that last strikeout of the 4th inning matched Max Scherzer. So he is now tied for 18th on the all-time strikeout list with 3,079. Number 17 on the list is John Smoltz, 3,084. Down and in for a ball, 1-2. Called third strike. Justin Verlander with 6 strikeouts tonight. Now 3,080 in his career, number 18 all-time in MLB history.
This Scouting Report is driven by your Greater Houston Honda dealer. Ty France coming to the plate. 2022 batting average by hot zones. Below average in the middle, but above average a lot of other places across that zone. He likes going the other way, a little more of an old school hitter, using the middle part of the field and the opposite field. Kind of goes with the numbers that you see against the Astros this season. He has been terrorizing them to a .375 batting average.
Fastball missing away. France 0 for 2 with a strikeout tonight. Off the plate, 2-0. Verlander now the active leader in strikeouts. Max Scherzer 1 behind. Zach Greinke would be 3rd on that list. There's a strike, 2-1. Now the count's 2-2. France had good numbers against JB coming into tonight, 5 for 10, including a home run. Punches one over the head of Yuli Gurriel down the right field line. That is a tough pitch to pick a hit up on, and Ty France serves one into right. Gets a hug from Chris Negron over first base with that hit.
Well, you got him to chase. Pitch is a good 7 or 8 inches off the outside corner. The unfortunate thing, this guy handles the bat pretty good and turns it into a base hit.
Man,
can't teach that.
See some pitches that Altuve hits. We are amazed as he is able to pick up base hits on some tough pitches. That was one from Ty France. Another opposite field hit for him. That's 26 opposite field hits this year for Ty France. There's Julio Rodriguez missing the breaking ball. Verlander had 0-2.
Check this out, TK. When you get a hit, thank you for not catching that. A little first base on first base love right there between Ty France and Yuli Gurriel.
That is good stuff. Tried to hold up on a pitch in the dirt. 1-2. Strike three called at the knees. Rodriguez goes down looking. Strikeout number 7 for Verlander. A 2-out hit. 1 man left on base. We're halfway home. Astros lead 2-1. Jose Altuve will lead things off in the bottom of the 5th. AT&T Sportsnet is presented by C&D Scrap Metal. We're going to pay you in $2 bills for all your scrap metal. And by HEB. No store does more than by HEB. Astros able to get to Chris Flexen last inning for a couple of runs. RBI singles by Kyle Tucker and Jeremy Pena. Now Jose Siri will lead things off. Siri grounded out his first time up. Mariners play a severe shift on Siri with Eugenio Suarez guarding the line and J.P. Crawford way over in the third short hole. And he shoots one right to where the second baseman's position. Adam Frazier. That ball hit hard by Siri. But he's out number 1. Both times Frazier making the play in the shift. Well, we go to the top of the order and Jose Altuve. Altuve has popped up and flied out to left. Off the plate for a ball, 1-0. Astros coming into this season had good numbers against Flexen. He had a 7.78 ERA against the Astros in 4 career starts, but this year coming in 3 starts and an ERA of 2.5. He has been much tougher for the Astros here, and now his 4th start against Houston. That one down the right field line. Trouble if it's fair. It is fair. It drops in. Altuve falls. And they're going to be able to tag him out. Fortunately, he's okay. Just more embarrassed than anything. But when he fell, your first concern is a possible injury. But he just simply tripped trying to go from first to second.
That's unfortunate. He had his head down looking for two bases on that to get in scoring position for Michael Brantley as he dropped this one down that right field line beautifully. See him recognize it's going to be a hit, and he was off the races, and all of a sudden from the depths of Minute Maid Park, the land shark got him.
He missed that land shark. Well, as long as the Astros win, everybody will have a good time with that. But right now, Altuve a little frustrated. That one fouled back. Altuve going to the dugout. Verlander said, "You okay?" Seems to be fine. There's a ground ball to the right side, played by Adam Frazier. That will do it for the Astros in the fifth. One hit, nobody left on base. Astros and Mariners in a close one tonight. 2-1 Houston heading to the sixth. Roger Clemens, as a Houston Astro, made exactly 84 starts. Same number that Justin Verlander had made in an Astros uniform coming into tonight. Rocket in 2004 through 2006 posted a 2.40 ERA, including that Cy Young Award winning season in 2004, one of his record 7 Cy Young Awards in his career. Number 22 was second all-time at that point in career strikeouts with 4,137. Justin Verlander taking the hill here, facing J.P. Crawford. Crawford takes a called strike. Crawford has lined out to second and looped a single into left, 1 for 2, scored the only Mariners run. And he shoots one the other way again. That's a line drive base hit to left. Well, Crawford, a leadoff base runner here in the 6th inning.
Our Bounty Quick Stats are going to show you some of the numbers between Roger Clemens and Justin Verlander through those 84 starts as an Astro. Very similar. Justin has a little bit more innings pitched. The ERA just a little bit higher, and that winning percentage extremely good for Justin Verlander. Both those guys have a Cy Young Award while wearing that star across their hat as an Astro. Pretty remarkable how similar they are through 84 starts.
Yeah, very, very similar numbers between the Rocket and JV. And Eugenio Suarez takes one off the plate for a ball, 1-0. Suarez a single and a deep fly out to right field. Mariners now with 6 hits in the game. That's their first leadoff runner to reach base. Suarez pops a foul out of play. How about the other comparisons?
Opponent batting average. The whip number for Justin Verlander continues to amaze me. Every time we pop it up, he's under 1 by quite a bit. But the number that jumped at me were those strikeout numbers. Same number of starts, almost 200 more strikeouts.
That whip, the only pitcher in Astros history to have a sub-1 whip, walks and hits divided by innings pitched with 500 innings or more.
It's not easy to do.
Sub-1. And he's not even close to that threshold. He's well under 1. Tonight's been a little different. Verlander's allowed 6 hits in 5 innings so far, so that whip tonight would be 1.2 at this point. No walks, actually 1 walk, so 7 base runners in 5 innings. a little higher than we're used to seeing for Verlander. 1.4 whip tonight, but overall that stellar 0.83. Suarez down in the count 1-2. Astros had to use their bullpen a bit the last couple of days. Phil Maton, Ryan Stanek, and Hector Neris all have pitched the last 2 games. No swing there for Suarez, and the Astros don't like to use guys 3 consecutive days. So not sure if any of those 3 are available tonight, but the Astros did add an arm to their bullpen prior to the game. Brandon Bielak rejoins the active team. He is in the bullpen tonight with Parker Mashinsky going on the injured list. Swing and a miss. Verlander gets Eugenio Suarez on strikes. 8 strikeouts today for Verlander and 1 away here in the 6th inning. He is creeping up on the list now, just 2 behind John Smoltz for number 17 all time, and he's got a few other guys in his sights in the next couple of weeks.
It's going to be exciting to see him continue to climb that ladder. Work himself into the top 15.
Frazier tries to hold up and does. A lot of check swings tonight. Frazier was 2 for 14 in his career against Verlander, but tonight he's 2 for 2. Took a no-hitter into the 7th inning in his last start in Oakland. 7 outs away from career no-hitter number 4. Something only Sandy Koufax and Nolan Ryan have accomplished in their careers. Then a base hit and a home run. Next thing you know, Verlander lost the no-hitter, the shutout, and the lead. The Astros able to come back and win that game 5-4. So Justin ended up with a no decision, but only allowed 2 hits in 7 innings against the A's in that one. He's 3-0 here on Frazier. Off the plate, ball 4. Second walk issued by Verlander. Mariners have runners on first and second with 1 out.
Stay connected with the Astros all season by following AT&T Sportsnet on social media. Get game highlights, player interviews, and special giveaways by finding us on Twitter, Instagram, and Facebook. All things Astros all season long at AT&T Sportsnet.
Verlander now at 90 pitches. He's gone over the 100 threshold twice this season. 107's his season high. Picks up a strike on a fastball to Abraham Toro.
And the velocity is still good, 96 miles an hour out of that right arm. Really seems as if Justin Verlander continues throughout the course of the season, going 6 innings, throwing 100+ pitches. He's only going to gain more strength and more consistency.
Moving in with 97, 1-1. Toro has popped up and also bounced into a fielder's choice for the only run of the game as he knocked in a run with the bases loaded on a fielder's choice in the 4th inning. Swing and a miss. Got Toro. Big strikeout there for out number 2. Verlander up to 9 strikeouts now on the night. That's a new season high.
Turbo slider in. Gets that swing and miss. Might have been a power curveball at 82 miles an hour. Either way, the break fooling Toro for that big swing and miss.
2 strikeouts in each of the last 4 innings now after having 1 strikeout through 2 tonight. He has struck out Taylor Trammell twice this evening. Trammell hit a fastball for a home run against Verlander back in Seattle. Last time when he struck him out, he threw him 6 consecutive sliders. Bullpen action going for the Astros for the first time tonight. Phil Maton warming up. Apparently Maton available despite pitching the last 2 games. Try to hold up on the 0-1 pitch. He goes around, says Chris Guccione. It's 0-2.
Should have been a called strike. That is paint job on the inside corner.
The top 4 teams that Verlander has struck out in his career all reside in the AL Central from all those years with the Tigers. Cleveland, Chicago, KC, and Minnesota, but Seattle 5th on that list. He has struck out 241 times against them. Foul tip caught by Castro. Strikeout number 10. Verlander pumped up. He's now tied with John Smoltz, number 17 all time on the strikeout list, as he gets Trammell for the 3rd time.
And he's fired up about it. Justin Verlander leading the way for the Astros.
Right, with Friday Night Fireworks presented by ConocoPhillips at Minute Maid Park. Every Friday features a post-game fireworks show with special soundtracks celebrating the 60th anniversary of the Astros. Get your tickets today at astros.com/fireworks. TK.
All right, Julia, Miami Marlins will be in town over the weekend after the off day Thursday for that Friday Night Fireworks. Alex Bregman will lead things off. This is the portion of the lineup that did some damage last time around against Chris Flexen. It all started with a Bregman 1-out single. He would come around to score on a Kyle Tucker single. Yordan Alvarez would score 2 batters later on a Jeremy Pena single. That gave the Astros 2 runs against Flexen in the 4th. And that was 3 of their 4 hits coming in that inning. Flexen has been very good tonight, limiting the Astros to just 4 hits, and one of them, Jose Altuve, last inning didn't stay on the base pass as he tripped heading to second and was tagged out.
It's been primarily cutter fastball from Chris Flexen. A lot of those cutters middle away, but he's thrown them up in the zone. He's thrown them down in the zone. There's that cutter right there. And then the four-seam fastball. It's kind of been more middle end to right-handed hitters on that side of the plate, the arm side of the plate. But again, moving it up and down as well as in and out. Be that four-seamer.
There's the one in you're talking about.
Yeah, that's where he's going. The straight stuff will be on the inside corner to right-handed hitters. If it starts on the middle portion of the plate and you're a right-handed hitter, just try and stay on it and realize it's going to break towards that outside portion of the plate.
That'll be a walk to Alex Bregman, his team leading 33rd walk of the year, second in the American League. Now a word from Topo Chico.
Crisp taste, legendary refreshment. Topo Chico Hard Seltzer, a real winning lineup.
I'll bring up Yordan Alvarez, who walked his last time up. Mariners get their bullpen going for the first time. Pitch at the top of the zone for a strike. That Festa beginning to loosen up in the Seattle Mariners bullpen. Flexen about to make his 80th pitch of the night. Last time against Houston, he went 7 innings and threw 99 pitches. 101 is his season high. Jordan hooks one down the line. He got a little quick. Possibly the distance for his 3rd career home run against Flexen, but he hits it foul.
Wanted to get a piece of that changeup, but here he is against Chris Flexen. First big home run, getting that cutter, driving it out in Seattle. Right here at Minute Maid Park. A little more of the four-seam variety. Similar result. That was a mega bomb to center field. A couple of good swings, almost added that 3rd. Got a little quick on that changeup, like TK just said.
Oh, 2 pitches fouled out of play. Jordan not taking any chances that that changeup might have a part of the plate. Jordan with his 28th walk his last time up has that team leading on base percentage up to .388. This ball into left field. Winker has it lined up. Puts it away for the first out. Jordan flies out the other way. 1 out here in the 6th. That'll bring up Kyle Tucker, who was singled in 2 at-bats tonight. Tuck got an RBI thanks to the great base running by Alex Bregman, who read a little flare into left center field as the runner at second base and got a great jump and scored rather easily. Flexen generally a guy that pitches to contact, and he has only picked up 1 strikeout tonight. Gets Kyle Tucker to foul one off his leg. It's 0-1.
Ouch. It's not going to make Kyle happy. He's got that shin guard on, cutter in off the shin. My goodness, that's not going to feel good. But like everything else, he handles it pretty casually.
Yeah. A lot of guys would be checked out by the training staff.
Be on the ground right now.
Yeah. Only 5 swings and misses tonight against Flexen. 3 on the cutter, 2 on the four-seam fastball. Tucker fouls one away, 0-2. Nice job catching a foul ball and keeping the baby happy at the same time.
It seems like that happens every day at least one ballpark.
There's a ball in the right field, sinking fast, and a sliding attempt at a great catch. Taylor Trammell went down to get that one, took one away from Kyle Tucker. Bregman had to scamper back to first.
Good play by Trammell on a sinking line drive off the bat of Kyle Tucker. Some top spin with that uppercut, hit hard. Hung up just long enough to have Trammell get in there and make that catch. Couple of tough reads on the base pass for Alex Bregman.
Breggy had to go about halfway before heading back to first. Here's Yuli Gurriel. Yuli taking one down and in for a ball. Yuli looking for his first hit of the series, 0 for 5 so far with a walk. Astros being out hit by Seattle 6-4, but lead the game 2-1. Bouncing in there 2-0. Really still looking for his first home run here at Minute Maid Park this year. Has 3 on the season. Just 6 of his 15 doubles have come at home this year. Little tapper back to the mound. Flexen will race to the bag underhanded, and that will do it for the Astros in the 6th inning. Leadoff walk does not move forward. We're through 6. Astros 2, Mariners 1. Game summary: after the Mariners scored a run in the top half of the 4th, the Astros answered in the bottom half. Kyle Tucker lofted that single in the left center field. Alex Bregman, a great read, would score the run. Then Jeremy Pena into right center field to score Yordan Alvarez from second base. It was 2-1 at that point. It has been all Justin Verlander the rest of the way. JV picking up a season-high 10 strikeouts tonight. 7 of them have been on the slider. Verlander matching number 17 spot in the all-time strikeout list as he ties John Smoltz with those 10 strikeouts tonight.
There's those 10 strikeouts, the 5 on the slider, 4 on the curveball, 1 on that 4-seam, dotted on the outside corner. He has done a very good job, and you can see the command much better, keeping some of those pitches in the middle portion down in that strike zone.
Facing Cal Raleigh here. He starts the inning with 97 pitches. Rafael Montero also starts the inning by loosening up in the Astros bullpen. Verlander will go over 100 pitches for the 3rd time this season, it appears. Threw 99 against Seattle the last time he faced them. 6 innings of work. Results different tonight, though, than that last time in Seattle when he allowed 10 hits and 6 runs for them. Home runs of the 10 hits. Tonight he has limited the Mariners to 1 run on 6 hits. He has walked 2 and struck out a season-high 10. Swing and a miss up top with 96. The fastball beats Cal Raleigh for strikeout number 11.
JV getting back to the swing and miss ways. Coming right after Cal Raleigh upstairs with the heat.
So now 17th all to himself. He passes John Smoltz and Max Scherzer tonight. Moving from number 19 to number 17, CC Sabathia next on the list. JV with 11 strikeouts tonight. Now Jesse Winker, the batter. He has struck out twice tonight. Winker popped up to second, 2 strikeouts as well. Verlander with a 1-1 count. Last time Verlander had double-digit strikeouts was that magical final start of 2019 in Anaheim against the Angels, where he struck out 12 in 6 innings and not only got to 3,000 strikeouts in that game, but also got to 300 for the season with a dozen strikeouts in his final start of 2019 when he won the Cy Young Award. This one chopped to Jeremy Pena. He flips it to first for out number 2.
Time now to play Name That Astro, powered by Reliant. We got 3 clues for you. Canadian selection, patrolling the outfield, Astros' longest home run at Minute Maid Park in the StatCast era. That's a good one. Go to Twitter, then go to @ATT_SW and let us know who you think that Astro is. Powered by Reliant. We'll get back to you later in the game and let you know who it is.
Here's Ty France. France takes a strike. France has struck out, lined out, and punched a single into right. Ooh.
My goodness.
Verlander made one of his best pitches of the night against the toughest hitter in the Mariners lineup and doesn't get the call.
How do you miss that? Castro didn't move at all.
That's one you really want to close out your night.
Yeah, this late in the game, I'm with you.
Now it's 1-2.
Well, at least he's got that.
Astros' previous high for strikeouts in a game, 10 by Jose Urquidy. Verlander with 11 tonight and ahead of France, 1-2. Doesn't get the chase, 2-2. JV now at 107 pitches. That is a season high, matching the number he threw in 5 innings against the Washington Nationals. Trying to close out the inning here with pitch number 108. Called third strike. He gave him that one on the outside edge, and Justin Verlander strikes out 12 and walks off to a standing ovation for the Minute Maid Park crowd.
Made the adjustment. Got roughed up by Seattle last time out. Not this time. Not in front of his fans. He fanned 12. It's driven by Toyota. A couple of rookies in this series are fun to watch. Who has the edge, Julio Rodriguez or Jeremy Pena? Both of them have had opportunities to do some damage. Julio Rodriguez showing some of the power. So has Jeremy Pena. This will be a fun matchup for years to come with both of these guys breaking into the league at the same time and making pretty good competition out of that Rookie of the Year out here in the American League West.
Yeah, I don't think I'm going out on a limb saying I think we've seen the American League Rookie of the Year in the last week.
I like it. Yes.
So it's going to be either one of these two guys or Bobby Witt Jr. from Kansas City.
I agree.
No offense to Joe Ryan and others who might make a run at this, but those 3 to me are more than likely one of those 3 is going to end up being Rookie of the Year. And we found out from Julia in Seattle that Pena and Rodriguez are friends. This ball is just foul, shot down the left field line. They actually got their hair cut on the off day in Seattle.
Here's how they match up too. Batting averages very similar. Slugging in the edge of Jeremy Pena. RBIs very similar, but we know what Jeremy Pena can do on defense. They both play primary positions up the middle of the field. But in this defensive alignment at shortstop for Jeremy Pena, getting more opportunities and making the most of them. 8 defensive runs saved.
So, Julie, these guys actually played together for a little while, huh?
They did. They bonded playing in the Arizona Fall League a couple of years ago. That was 2019, and then playing against each other in winter ball, and then just keeping that friendship up. I think this is kind of special for them both to be entering the majors at the same time. Like you said, hanging out on the off day where Pena needed a haircut, and Julio happened to know where to go for one.
Went off the plate for a ball, 2-2. Quite an Arizona Fall League having those 2 guys on the team. It's been fun to watch Jeremy Pena here in the first 1/3 of the season. Would have to be right up there amongst the favorites, if not the favorite for Rookie of the Year at this point, based on what he's done with the glove as well as the bat. 3-2 to Pena, leading off the bottom half of the 7th inning. Astros lead this game 2-1. Mariners still have their bullpen going as Flexen's at 93 pitches. Justin Verlander threw a season-high 108 tonight. There's a ball in the right field for a base hit. Jeremy Pena, who singled it right for an RBI his last time up, has 2 opposite field base hits.
Such a good job adjusting what Chris Flexen's going out there trying to do to him. Using that opposite field has really benefited him. That bat before was a cutter. This is a 4-seam fastball. He stays down on it, drives through, going the other way. Sometimes you just can't do too much against a guy who's moving the baseball all over the strike zone, making it tough, keeping you off balance. So you kind of take what's given to you, and Jeremy Pena has done just that with a couple of base hits on pitches on the outside third, going the other way.
Impressive swings from Pena tonight. He's got a lead on first base, standing next to the guy who leads all of baseball in opposite field. It's Ty France. Jason Castro fouls one down the left field line. It is a Twitter Tuesday. We had a couple of questions earlier for James Click, but we'd like to get your opinion on the state of the Astros. You happy with the team so far? Thoughts on the new contract for the big man, Yordan Alvarez? Also share some picks with us if you want. Very happy with the state of the Astros from Astros Fan UK. Need to find a little more offensive consistency, but the pitching has been nothing short of phenomenal. Kim says it's hard to complain with that kind of lead in the division, and Air Yordan signing for 6 more years. When the offense gets going, look out. That's kind of what we've been thinking.
I'm with Kim on that. That is true.
Justin says it's really hard not to be blown away by this team so far in 2022. The consistency while absorbing the shots of other teams is just so impressive. Knowing the Astros are going to get the best from everybody. Castro didn't agree with that call. Is down in the count 0-2. Jason last played when Christian Javier started 7 days ago. Aldi had started 1 full turn through the rotation. Swing and a foul tip caught by Cal Raleigh. Second strikeout for Chris Flexen. 1 away here in the 7th. Join the Astros for another Flashback Friday this week when they take on the Miami Marlins. Get to the ballpark early and be one of 10,000 fans to take home a 1980s Framber Valdez throwback jersey presented by Rico's. Visit Astros.com/promotions today. In our Stroh poll in Kansas City, that promotion finished 3rd out of 4, but I think that's going to be a really popular item.
I think once you see him in person, you're going to wish you had one.
So you've got Friday Night Fireworks and the Framber Valdez throwback jersey. A little tapper may have hit near the face of Jose Siri as he checks his batting helmet.
Yeah, you hope he got more helmet than anything. Seems to be all right. Lock the lid back in. Chopped off plate. That'll stun you a little bit. You're not anticipating contact after you just take a swing like that.
Siri hit the ball hard his last time up. Both times he has grounded out into the shift, but this time with a runner on, the Mariners play more straight up against Siri. Justin Verlander carrying the torch for 7 innings and 108 pitches tonight. Well, just 1 run on 6 hits and struck out a season high 12. Most strikeouts Verlander has in a start since that final start in Anaheim, when he also struck out 12. He got to 3,000 strikeouts that night against the Angels in his final start of the year. Quite a night for JV. Astros needed him to go deep in the game with their bullpen a little taxed, and he answered as he usually does. Now that the outing's over, he can share a smile and a story with Kyle Tucker. He was fired up on a couple of those strikeouts tonight, especially it seemed when Taylor Trammell was hitting.
Bat flips will do that to pitchers. I'm not sure if Justin Verlander's the bear I want to poke.
Yeah.
He came back with a vengeance in this outing. Would you say he gave up 10 hits that outing in Seattle?
Yeah.
Then he comes back and answers with a dozen strikeouts.
10 hits and 6 strikeouts that night in Seattle, and tonight 6 hits and a dozen strikeouts. He struck out Trammell all 3 times tonight. Here is his reaction on the final one, his 10th strikeout of the night.
He can get fiery, but there was a little extra on that one.
He gets fiery, but not usually early June.
Yeah, usually it's a postseason run.
I definitely think this game meant a lot to him and the team, coming off that disappointing loss last night and coming off the way Verlander allowed 6 of his 17 runs on the season in that last start against Seattle. Flexen's now at 101. So he is also going to reach his high pitch count of the season. He's 2-2 here on Siri. Upstairs, 3-2. Probably the last batter for Flexen with Jose Altuve on deck. Mariners have had Matt Festa warming up for the last couple of innings. See if they send Pena here on a 3-2 pitch. Pena stays. 3-2 pitch is hit in the air to right field. Playable for Trammell. Backs up a couple of steps and puts it away. That's 2 outs in the inning. Pena has to retreat to first. Scott Service poised to come out of the dugout, and here he comes. Well, Flexen a season high 103 pitches tonight. And he will leave after 6 2/3 innings as he gets through the lineup for a 3rd time. He'll leave down 2-1 with a runner on first base, but Flexen has pitched very well against the Astros in 2022 and has another fine outing tonight. Matt Festa will face Jose.
Name that Astros powered by Reliant. We gave you 3 clues. Canadian selection patrolling the outfield. Astros longest home run at Minute Maid Park in the StatCast era, and it is everybody's favorite, Jake from Wright Farm, going deep off David Price. Back in 2017 on Father's Day, he hit a 469-foot bomb that almost made it up to the train above left center field. Fan favorite while he was here wearing that Astros uniform.
That train at that particular time parked in the exact same spot it is now.
Yeah, he almost got up there and hit that thing. You don't see that too often.
Jose Altuve has a target to shoot for as he will bat here against the new pitcher for the Mariners, Matt Festa.
On the season in 16 games, has a 5.5 ERA, very similar to the ERA he has against the Astros in his career. In 7 games he's pitched against the Astros, he has a 5.40 ERA, and he's given up 2 home runs.
Festa struggled in his last outing last Thursday in Baltimore. Pena on the go. It's a pitch away. Pena slides in safely. He went into second base with a lot of speed, as Jeremy Pena is now 4 for 4 in his career in stolen bases. Love guys that accelerate into the bag like he just did.
Yeah, he can flat fly, and he picked a good pitch to go on too. That was a slider from Festa. A tough pitch for Cal Raleigh to throw on. You see the throw well behind the speed of Jeremy Pena.
Some guys get that slide going too early and slow up, but Pena went in with a burst of speed for his 4th steal of the year. Now he's dancing around off second base. The 1-0 pitch misses away, 2-0. Well, Jeremy is in that top 15 in the top sprint speed on the StatCast Sprint leaderboard this year. Jose Siri tied for 2nd, trailing Bobby Witt Jr. Altuve with a 2-0 count has a career home run against Festa. Festa staying away with 3 straight out of the zone.
Yeah, not shocking that he's throwing 3 straight sliders already. He throws that slider 62% of the time to right-handed hitters.
Festa was on the injured list earlier this year with right elbow tendonitis. And last outing against Baltimore, hit 2 batters, allowed a hit and 3 runs in a third of an inning. The 3-0 pitch is called a strike. High strike has been given to both teams tonight. Astros leading 2-1, would love to tack on a run or 2. Rafael Montero appears to be the guy in the bullpen who will have the 8th inning. It's the top of the zone and now the bottom of the zone, and now the count goes full.
Considering where the previous strike was to this one, you've got to cover about 3 feet from top to bottom. I think that's when the realization kicked in for Altuve. He dropped the bat.
Altuve singled his last time up, but fell heading to second base and was tagged out. This one on the ground towards the shortstop. Crawford will make the throw. Altuve retired for the final out. So 1 hit, stolen base, 1 man left on base. We still have a close one. It is 2-1 Astros heading to the 8th.
He had himself a heck of a night. Came out with a little more intensity against a team that put 10 hits on him last time out. This time he came out, made the adjustment, still got ahead early with the fastball, but ultimately was able to move that curveball and slider around the zone, getting a couple of looking strikeouts. Had 96, 97 in the tank, ready to blow it past some of these Seattle Mariner hitters. And it was JV's ball game today. 7 innings, 12 strikeouts. Fire running through that right arm of Justin Verlander, and this Crawford Bach call to the bullpen sees Rafael Montero making his 25th appearance.
Tough part of the lineup for Montero. 3, 4, and 5, including Julio Rodriguez leading off. Montero picking up his 4th save in that game on Sunday when Ryan Presley was ejected, and then Phil Maton had trouble closing out that final out of the 9th inning, and Montero came in and picked up the save. Only threw 3 pitches in that outing. The 2-0 pitch is a fastball poured in for a strike, 2-1. Fourth time these two teams have met, 4th series. Montero has yet to face Julio Rodriguez until this at bat. Gets that call on the outside edge. That was a problem for Julio Rodriguez the first month of his career. He was getting a lot of called strikes against him that were off the plate.
All right.
Goes after that 2-2 pitch and fouls it away. Verlander, a season high 12 strikeouts, a season high 108 pitches, and bounced back after his toughest outing against the Mariners 2 starts ago with 7 innings of 1-run baseball tonight. '96 misses in, and Montero has run the count full to Julio Rodriguez.
Good try. I like seeing some of these pitchers come to that inside corner.
got in on him there. Rodriguez went after a pitch. It was probably ball 4.
Yeah, he was probably looking for something on that outside corner, and this one just came rushing up and in. He was unable to lay off it. That's a 2-seam rotation. That did not hit far from his hands.
Rodriguez, J.P. Crawford, Eugenio Suarez due up in the 8th inning. Missed with 96 off the plate. Montero walks the first batter he faces, Julio Rodriguez. Julia?
Here's the AT&T Fiber Fast Facts as we look at the bullpen and what they've done so far this year, talking about their ERA. Lowest in the American League, the bullpen era since 2000. How impressive is that? Look at where the Astros are. You see some of these AL West teams on this list, but 266 is where they're at now, getting contributions from everyone. A couple of recent injuries too, TK. A couple of new faces in that bullpen as of late.
And we had Blake Taylor have to leave the game in Kansas City, and he was replaced by Parker Mashinsky. And then Parker just goes on the IL, lands there today. Brandon Bielak being called up from Sugar Land.
It's a good idea to keep an eye on Julio Rodriguez.
Leads all of baseball in stolen bases. First time he was caught stealing was here in Houston on May the 2nd. This ball sent to left field. Brantley back a little bit near the track, puts it away. Rodriguez has to head back to first. Crawford retired as he hits the ball the other way for the 3rd consecutive time. So here was the roster move as Parker Mashinsky goes on the 15-day IL, and Brandon Bielak recalled from AAA Sugar Land. We've seen Seth Martinez kind of be in that longer role, but he's been so effective, you might be able to start to use him in 1-inning roles now and use Bielak as your long guy.
I think you might be right. Seth Martinez has done an extremely good job out of that bullpen, helping those numbers that Julia just put up as far as bullpen ERAs are concerned. But it has been a full bullpen effort.
Eugenio Suarez 0 for 4 in his career against Montero. 3 walks in the mix against Rafael. Oh, Rodriguez was leaning. He's safe, but it was close. A little smile on the young 21-year-old outfielder's face. He knows he was close to getting picked off there. They're going to look at this, Blummer.
Well, you called it. He was leaning. The quick throw and tag by Yuli might have gotten on that shoulder before he got back to the bag.
Oh, we need a definitive view here. What do you think?
Houston is challenging the safe call at first base.
I think they might have gotten him.
I think so. Is that enough to overturn it? That is close.
Going to need a mosaic, TK.
Yeah, we will. Fans here react to the video on El Grande. Is there a frame in there where the glove is definitively on the jersey and the hand not yet on the bag? That's the question. One of those that it may be whatever Ryan Additon calls, it's going to stand, but we'll see. Big review here in the 8th inning in a 1-run game with the speedy Julio Rodriguez on first.
I wonder if this is Joe Espada's first review of his career. Trying to keep the speedy Julio Rodriguez off the base paths because he was definitely leaning. Quick move from Montero.
This one's close enough. It's going to take a little while.
I'm with you on that.
I don't think this is an easy one for headquarters in New York. Chris Guccione getting word now.
Through his pitch comm device. I'm kidding.
No, still doesn't have the answer. Here we go.
After review, the call on the field stands. The runner is safe. Houston will lose their challenge.
Close.
Very close. But like you said, whatever was called on the field was going to be the call that stood.
So a big smile from Julio Rodriguez. Now he knows Montero's A move is a pretty good one. Suarez 1 for 3 tonight with a single. Slider misses outside, ball 1. There's a strike. Mariners have played their share of one-run games lately. All their games against the Rangers were one-run games. Their final game in Baltimore was a one-run game. Last night was a one-run game until the craziness in the top half of the ninth with 2 outs and nobody on. Hit batter and a 2-run home run by Rodriguez separated that game a little bit. And that was a close game throughout. And the last game prior to that between these two teams was a 2-1 Astros win where Ryan Presley had to close out the game with the bases loaded in the 9th inning with a double play against Luis Torrens. 2-1 the count to Suarez. Ball low, 3-1.
Command a little bit of an issue for Rafael Montero. Walking Julio Rodriguez, now falling behind 3-1.
Just low. Didn't clip the bottom of the zone according to Jordan Baker. So 2 walks in the inning. 2 on with 1 out here in the 8th.
The MLB Ballpark app will complete your next visit to Minute Maid Park. Buy and manage game tickets, unlock offers, access exclusive content, and much more. Download the MLB Ballpark app today.
Astros could use a double play here with Adam Frazier batting with 2 on and 1 out. Frazier has been on base 3 times, a couple of singles and a walk. Montero continues to search for that zone. He has missed with 9 of the first 15 and will get a visit from the Astros pitching coach Josh Miller. Now a message from TXU Energy. Frazier, one of the additions to the Seattle Mariners in 2022. Had an all-star season last year with Pittsburgh before he was moved on to San Diego. To Seattle for the first time in 2022. Pitch misses in, 2-0.
Not missing by much, but missing enough to not get the call from home plate umpire Jordan Baker. Trying to find it right now with a couple of runners on.
Nobody warming right now in the Astros bullpen.
Came into this game with only 5 walks on the season, Rafael Montero did.
Tried to throw a changeup for a strike, and that didn't work either. Ryan Stanek will grab a baseball and begin loosening up. Upstairs, ball 4, 3 walks in the inning. That's a 4-pitch walk. And the Mariners have loaded up the bases without having to put the ball in play. There you see why the bullpen is a little bit taxed. Neris has pitched in 2 straight games. We see Stanek warming up now. He'll be possibly in a 3rd straight game. Maton was warming earlier. He had pitched in 3 out of 4. Montero tonight will be 3 out of 4.
These days and pitches are starting to add up a little bit. Astros do have that day off on Thursday.
Abraham Toro bats for the 2nd time tonight with the bases loaded. And he hits the ball down the right field line, just foul. Toro bidding for extra bases. Aggressive on the first pitch for Montero and hooks it foul.
Yeah, might have been in off the plate a little bit. See it again on our Mattress Firm Supermo. Aggressive after a 4-pitch walk and walking the bases loaded.
Toro bounced into a fielder's choice last time with the bases loaded to knock in a run. This one in, 1-1. Toro has faced Montero twice. He is 1 for 2. Out away there, 1-2. Rodriguez on 3rd. Pinch runner Dylan Moore taking over for Eugenio Suarez on 2nd. Adam Frazier on 1st. Hooks another one foul.
He's got Toro in swing mode. Just got to find something you can either pop him up with, ground him out with, or strike him out with.
He's fouled the fastball and the slider. Not sure if he's seen the changeup in this at bat. Ground ball towards the middle. Pena will get to the bag himself. The throw in time, double play. The rookie shortstop Jeremy Pena fired up as he turns the double play on Abraham Toro.
That's what the doctor ordered right there. The free swing at Abraham Toro, swinging at everything. Bounces this one up the middle. The athleticism of Jeremy Pena working for 2 to end that inning.
Is now in bobblehead form. 10,000 fans are taking home a Kyle Tucker stretch bobblehead presented by Gallery Furniture when the Astros take on the Marlins on Saturday, June 11th. Find tickets at astros.com/promotions. It's going to be a popular one. I'll be sure to save you guys one.
Thanks, Julia.
Unless she does the stretch move on us and denies us a bobblehead.
Dylan Moore taking over for Eugenio Suarez over at 3rd base. He pinch ran for Suarez, staying in the game. And for the 2nd straight night, Blummer, we see the new lefty for the Mariners, Ryan Borucki.
His 2nd appearance through a 3rd of an inning. The first game of this series against the Astros. Still has a pretty hefty ERA at 9.45. He's faced the Astros 4 times in his career. He's given up three hits, no home runs, or 7 hits, no home runs. Astros hitting .250 against Borucki.
Ryan Presley warming up. He'll have the 9th inning. Astros leading 2-1. We'll have the 2, 3, and 4 hitters due up against Borucki. A couple of lefties. Michael Brantley hitting first in the inning, and Yordan Alvarez hitting third. Alex Bregman in between. Borucki was brought on to face Alvarez last night and retired the only batter he faced. Brantley 0 for 2 with a walk tonight. Takes one off the plate for a ball, 1-0. Michael's faced Borucki one other time in his career. Off the plate, 2-0. Borucki had been designated for assignment by the Blue Jays and moved in a trade for a minor league infielder from Seattle. Last night was his first appearance in a Mariners uniform. Picked up the first win of his career in Seattle. Borucki also has family that lives in that area. His wife is from that area, so he was happy to get a change of scenery. Things were not going his way with the Blue Jays, and now pitching in the AL West. But he is 3-0 to Michael Brantley. Catches the corner, 3-1. Sharp play hit, base hit. Michael Brantley, a single into right. 4-game hitting streak for Uncle Mike, a leadoff base runner in the bottom half of the 8th inning. Legend of the Game is presented by Blue Cross Blue Shield. We take you all the way back to the first year of Astros baseball. Colt 45's baseball in 1962. Bob Aspermani had a 5-hit game. He followed it up in '67 with his second 5-hit game on this date, June 7th. 1967. Astro the Astro had 2 of the first 3 5-hit games in Astros history. Only Sweet Pea Joe Morgan in that inaugural year of '65, who had a 6-hit game that first year that they were the Astros. There's Alex Bregman. Bregman, good numbers against Borucki. Alex has faced him 4 times and has 3 doubles. In fact, his last 3 at bats against Borucki have all been doubles. Alex fouls one back, 0-2. Alex has been on base twice tonight, a single to right field and a walk. He's also flied out to right. Bregman up to 33 walks on the year. Tied with Yandy Diaz for the American League lead.
Breggy broke the HEB sign in the back.
Oh yeah. That ball towards left center, falling quickly. Rodriguez down to the ground, makes the catch. Julio Rodriguez, a nice sliding catch, picking one off the turf and taking a hit away from Alex Bregman for the first out.
Good play on a line drive, falling out of the sky quickly by Julio Rodriguez. A little bit of a snow cone as he goes in. They're under Mattress Firm Supermo.
Just enough for the baseball to keep it in the webbing of his glove without hitting the ground. Now here's Yordan Alvarez, who was retired by Borucki last night in his Mariners debut. Alvarez grounded out to second.
It was an 80% catch probability.
So just a 2-star catch.
Yeah.
That's one that Jose Siri might have been waiting for.
Well, I was just going to say, it looked cool.
Yeah. Rodriguez has great speed. We showed you he's the top of the StatCast leaderboard in speed. There's a lot of factors to making a high degree of difficulty catch, including the read, the route, the burst. Inside to Alvarez, 2-0. Hard throwing right-hander Andres Munoz warming up in the Mariners bullpen. Astros still have another lefty behind Alvarez. Kyle Tucker's on deck. Yordan drives one to right field. Back goes Trammell. He's at the wall. He'll jump. This ball is gone. Home run. Yordan hits a 2-run home run, and the Astros lead this game 4-1. Yordan's going to chase Michael home. He's going to race him to home plate, and Michael has to sprint home because he wasn't sure that Yordan got that one out.
That was awesome.
Love the fun this guy's having right now.
Oh, did you see the smile on Michael Brantley? He's having a blast too.
Scott Service is going to argue fan interference, but that ball was over the yellow line and into the first row of the stands. Here's another look.
That was a slider off the end of the bat. There's plenty of elevation, obviously, to have that carry towards the seats. A majestic flight as it gets up in there, and Trammell tried to give it a shot. Nobody reaching over the yellow line as of yet.
Nope.
He missed it.
He missed it. They're going to review this, but this is going to be an Astros home run. Here's the chase, Plummer. This is great.
Oh, Phil, this is a home run. Seattle is challenging.
You see Michael start giggling?
This is a crew chief review.
Good. Crew chief messing with our highlights.
Love Yordan saying, "You better go because I'm ready to run."
He was probably yelling at him, I would imagine. That was great.
Fans are about to get excited when they see the review.
Oh, yeah, they are.
Everybody fired up here as they just saw it on El Grande. There's no way this is fan interference. 100% no.
Great job by the fans. That is how you do it. Professional baseball fans at a great ballpark here in Minute Maid.
After review, the call on the field is confirmed. Home run.
Well, Trammell with 3 strikeouts on the swings and misses today. He swung and missed at that one.
Yordan still chasing Brantley. That was great. That was a little bit of the personality from the big man. It comes out every once in a while.
That was highly entertaining all the way around.
Yordan was watching Brantley say, "I'm not sure if it's gone or not." Yordan's like, "Start running." That is gone.
Yeah, he's coming to get him.
That is a big home run. And to separate this game a little bit, it was 2-1. Now a 4-1 lead, and Kyle Tucker takes one off the plate. Might be the last batter for Ryan Borucki. Tuck 1 for 3. Home run number 17 for Alvarez, who had a 7-game hitting streak snap last night and now starts a new one with a home run. Off the plate, 2-0. Jordan, just his 5th home run here at Minute Maid Park this year of his 17 overall. That one was hit so high up in the air you weren't sure if it was going to have enough distance, but it had just enough. Tuck takes a big swing at a 2-0 pitch. It's 2-1. Alvarez, who always goes to school, got retired last night by Barucki, but gets another chance tonight and hits one out.
He seems to be making adjustments quickly. That's a big key to becoming a very good hitter in this league.
Pitch is in. You might have heard Jordan Baker say 3-1 to Tucker. He might not even be talking about batting gloves for a while because he's just going to go with them, it seems like. What, 4 or 5 games in a row now?
Yep.
Tucker drove in the first run of the game. He hit that ball twice. He fouled that ball and then fouled it off his bat.
It's not easy to do, TK.
It's not an easy skill. Off the plate, ball 4. Tucker draws a walk.
Look at the swing on that slider. Moving away from him, he got the head out, got it off the end of the bat, but still obviously strong enough to punch this out of here. Now he's yelling at Michael, "I'm coming to get you, vamo."
I think I was like, what's going on? Jordan's chasing. That is good stuff.
Got to have fun.
Tough night for Barucki in his second outing as a Mariner. Allows 3 base runners, all of them the lefties that he came in to get out. So he will leave after 4 batters. Yuli Gurriel will face a new pitcher when we come back in this 4-1 game. 4-1 game, 1 out in the bottom of the 8th inning. The Mariners go back to their bullpen and get Penn Murphy, a right-hander.
Yeah, Astros saw Penn yesterday doing a very good job out of that bullpen with a .93 ERA and a whip well below 1. Also 22 strikeouts.
Faced 5 Astros here last night. Didn't allow much, just a single to Michael Brantley, and retired Alex Bregman at double play. So he went 1 2/3 innings. Faced the minimum with the 1 hit allowed. Now Tucker on first base in a 4-1 game. Yuli Gurriel looking for his first hit of the series. 0 for 3 tonight. Takes a slider off the plate, 1-0.
Yeah, that 3/4 delivery makes it tough for right-handed hitters, and a lot of sliders from Penn Murphy.
That one off the plate, 2-0. He started out at Vanderbilt as an infielder, moved on to Santa Clara. Transitioned into a reliever before he went to Santa Clara. That's where he was selected in 2018 after his senior year. Picks up the corner, 2-1. Sweep with that slider.
Yeah, that arm angle produces that. Kind of flattens out and sweeps across the zone.
Chris Flexen pitched 6 2/3 innings tonight, allowed a couple of runs. The Astros tacking on 2 here on Yordan Alvarez's 17th home run of the year. Gurriel fouls one back, stays 2-2. Didn't chase that one, 3-2. So we'll see if the Astros put Tucker in motion here. Just 1 out in the inning. Really usually a pretty good bat to ball skill guy. Tucker goes. The pitch is fouled back. Tucker will have to come back. After the Astros lost last night, Los Angeles Angels also lost 1-0 to Boston. Michael Wacha pitched a complete game shutout against the Angels. It would be the last game that Joe Madden would be manager of the Angels, as he was relieved of his duties before the game today. Angels in Boston playing tonight 3-3. The Astros still haven't lost one full game to the Angels in the standings in any one day since May the 1st. When the Astros lost a game to Toronto in Toronto, and the Angels beat the White Sox that same day. Tucker goes again. This pitch is a ball. Tucker slides in just in case, but Yuli picks up a walk to put runners on first and second. I'll give Jeremy Pena another opportunity. He's had a nice night, 2 for 3 with an RBI single. That approach he had against Flexen was kind of a veteran approach tonight.
It really was. Realized that Chris Flexen wasn't going to bend on anything, wasn't going to give in to these hitters and just lay one out of the plate. Did a very good job of commanding the fastball, middle in to right-handed hitters, and then it was all cutters away. And again, moving that fastball up and down on the edges. But he just decided to go the other way with it, and he's benefited with 2 hits. Picked up an RBI on that base hit in the 4th inning.
Ready on the first pitch. Fouls one straight back. Ryan Presley has been warming this entire inning, so he's just throwing a pitch here and there to stay loose. Slider in, 1-1. Astros had a huge double play in the top half of this inning with the bases loaded and 1 out after Rafael Montero walked 3 in the inning. Kept it at a 1-run Astros lead, and now they've tacked on 2 more here in the bottom half of the 8th. Montero uncharacteristically walking 3 tonight, but got a huge double play to get out of it.
That was actually pretty amazing to watch unfold. Got a pitcher on the ropes after 3 walks, and Abraham Toro came out hacking.
It wasn't an easy play either for Pena in the shift. He had to go get the ball, then his momentum had to shift back to getting to the bag to make the throw. He was pretty fired up with that play as he goes down on strikes here. Murphy picks up his first strikeout, 2 outs in the inning.
That was a slider that you've got to try and stay closed on as a right-handed hitter. That looks like no fun at all.
Jason Castro will bat. And strikeout for Pena, just the 3rd strikeout for Mariners pitching tonight. Castro shoots one to the right side. Nice play on the short hop by Adam Frazier to throw out Castro for the final out of the inning. Astros add 2 runs on the Yordan Alvarez 2-run home run. It's now 4-1 as we head to the 9th. Houston Astros base.
Tonight's results from the Chevy Stroh poll. Talking about Justin Verlander on this JV day. Which milestone do you think he's going to accomplish again first? 40% going with the no-hitter. 30% with the American League Cy Young Award. He has flirted with a no-hitter a couple times so far this season. We'll see. TK.
All right, Julian, we go to the 9th. Ryan Presley taking over here in a 4-1 game.
This will be Ryan's first appearance since being ejected in Kansas City on the season. 10 for 12 in those save opportunities. 3.29 ERA. The velocity coming back. The spin consistently there with the breaking ball and the slider.
First batter he faces is Taylor Trammell. Trammell struck out 3 times against Justin Verlander tonight. 3 of Verlander's 12 strikeouts. A season high and an Astros best in 2022. Presley drops in another 0-2. Verlander struck out Trammell with 1st and 2nd and 2 outs in the 6th inning, his 10th strikeout of the night. Got him with 1st and 3rd and 2 outs to end the 4th. Verlander was pretty pumped up after a couple of those strikeouts tonight, including that one that got Trammell at the end of the 6th. Tried to hold up, and he goes around. That'll be a strikeout on 3 pitches for Ryan Presley. Trammell strikes out for the 4th time tonight.
Pretty aggressive at bat for Ryan Presley. Eventually putting Trammell away with that slider down and in, unable to hold up again. Tough spin to compete with.
Now Presley will go after Cal Raleigh. Raleigh walked today, 0 for 2. Struck out his last time. Raleigh takes one down for a ball. Former Florida State catcher had a career night last night with 4 RBIs. And that ball is spared by Yuli Gurriel. Line drive caught by the Astros first baseman, taking a hit away from Cal Raleigh.
That ball was ripped by Cal Raleigh. But the soon-to-be 38-year-old moving quickly to his right to snatch that line drive.
So now to the top of the order we go. Jesse Winker will bat. Drops in a curveball for a strike. Presley looking for his 11th save of the season. Trying to give the Astros their 36th win of the year. Down and in, 1-1. 0 for 4 tonight with a couple of strikeouts. Presley saved the game the last time the Astros beat Seattle to wrap up that series a couple of weekends ago up in Seattle. Now Presley 1 strike away from putting the finishing touches on a 4-1 win. I think in Seattle was a little scary. Ryan had a couple of walks and a hit, had the bases loaded before a double play to end the inning. Tonight the double play that was huge came in the 8th inning for the Astros. 30,583.
TK, they love them some baseball down here in Houston. They keep showing up. It's beautiful.
Dollar dogs don't hurt either. Always a little boost. Last night was 27,521 on a Monday night after the Astros returned from that long road trip. Tonight 30,583. The Astros right near the top of their average attendance figures in the American League. 3-2 to Winker. This copyrighted telecast is presented by authority of the Houston Astros and may not be reproduced or retransmitted in any form. And the accounts and descriptions of this game may not be disseminated without the express written consent of the Houston Astros. Astros have had some strange happenings with 2 outs and nobody on the last couple of games in the 9th inning. Tonight seems to be a little bit more under control than that finish in Kansas City on Sunday and in the 9th inning last night.
Yeah, these are a little more fun. A little more predictable.
Dusty Baker having to serve his suspension tonight. Joe Espada as the acting manager looking for that final out tonight. Swing and a miss. That's the ball game. Ryan Presley picks up a save as the Astros hold on to a 4-1 win and take the middle game of this 3-game series for the Mariners. From the Mariners, a Plummer. That's a nice bounce back. Justin Verlander set the tone.
No, he absolutely set the tone. He had some redemptive ideas against this Seattle Mariner team that put it to him up there in Seattle. Put together a good fastball, curveball, and slider mix as he went out there and struck out 12. And I agree, very good bounce back. This team is extremely resilient, and that's what they're built for, to not have those losing streaks, to be able to bounce back, fight back, and win.
We have our post-game show coming up right around the corner. Astros post-game show presented by Whataburger. Ashton Clay will be your host tonight. They will review tonight's highlights. We'll also hear some interviews, including one Julia's about to get on the field. Dusty Baker or Joe Espada will be talking to the media after the game. All that coming up on the Astros post-game show presented by Whataburger. It starts right around the corner.